It's Russia versus Ukraine in the fight over the Black Sea Peninsula of Crimea. But Russia's annexation of the region is not just a regional concern. The move has drawn criticism from around the world.
VOA's Elizabeth Arrott was in Crimea as the area voted to break away from Ukraine, and she talked with me about what she saw. Take a look. Elizabeth, Crimea has been in the headlines for weeks. What was it like? What was the scene on the ground?
It was very unusual, right from sort of getting off the plane. It was the day that what people refer to as the little green men, the Russian soldiers without insignia, that they had taken over the airport. They were very professional, but they would never admit that they were Russian. So it was sort of a surreal beginning to a rather surreal trip in which you had this, what was in some ways, it was an occupation, a military occupation, which was not acknowledged and yet carried out in a way that was, sort of unprecedented in the post-Cold War world, but in a relatively peaceful manner of the takeover of another nation's property.
And how were you treated there as a journalist, especially being a Western journalist, when this situation has raised so many tensions between Russia and the West?
For Western journalists, it was hard, and especially hard for Ukrainian journalists. In the beginning, not so badly, but as sort of tensions and it became clearer and clearer that, the pro-Russian side had the upper hand. People got much more bullying towards Western journalists. Some Ukrainian journalists were actually, sort of detained, and one of our colleagues, Daniel Scharf, he recently got his equipment seized by Russian soldiers. So it got tenser, and people were very kind of pretty rough in terms of how they felt about the Western press.
How do you make sense of this information war when you've got the Ukrainian side saying one thing, the Russian side saying another thing?
I'd been in Kiev before I went down to Crimea, so it was nice to be able to see that both sides were really overplaying the story for their own political gains, and how it was interpreted. Certainly Russia was saying that Kiev had been, was in complete chaos and under the rule of fascists. Clearly it wasn't. The Ukrainians were saying that the Russians were doing sort of horrible things in Crimea. And so it was very much two very, very different views of two situations that were diametrically opposed and continued to be. And then each side cut off the other's, media. So it just largely played out in the information world.
And it's interesting too that this was not your first time in Crimea. You've been there before in the 90s. So how did this trip compare to the time you went before?
Well, I think that was very interesting because back then, it was right after the breakup of the Soviet Union. There were pro-Russian women, older women that were so longing to be back part of Russia at that time. One woman who must have been well into her 70s, took me into her apartment, gave me tea, showed me her closet full of Molotov cocktails prepared for when, she would fight the fight to get back to Russia. So this is a long time in the making, yeah. And it's really those older people that were hugely in favor of what was going on. Talked to a lot of Crimean Tatars. They were very hesitant to come back under Moscow's rule. So it's a very tense situation. I think people are very nervous about what's going to go on in the next, not just sort of 6 months, but next couple of years, what it means for, once the heat of the moment goes on, what for their daily lives is going to happen. And they look to other places where Russia's been, and they're not very reassured.
And you were there during the referendum. So what was the mood like surrounding that vote? Were a lot of people happy to have this opportunity?
Oh, certainly. I mean, for those older, especially for that older generation, pro-Russian generation, I mean, there were people literally weeping with joy of being able to go back to Moscow. The Tatar community, a lot of other people, they saw the inevitability of it. They saw what they considered the illegality of it, and they boycotted it, which is why you got such a high number in favor of going back to Russia.
VOA correspondent Elizabeth Arrott there talking about her trip to Crimea. Now, Elizabeth will be back on our show next week talking about death sentences in Egypt for hundreds of supporters of former President Mohamed Morsi.